guys, welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Ashley and I'm going to be making this channel about books and reading now. It used to be a perfume channel and I'm sorry if you were here for the perfume stuff and you don't like reading, but that's what I want to talk about now. Hopefully it is enjoyable and you stick around, but if you don't, that's okay, I understand and I'm sorry. So a little bit of background, I grew up kind of hating reading other than reading the Hunger Games series, which my mom originally bribed me into, but then after I got like 3 chapters in, I was like, oh, I really like this, and then I read the whole series in like 2 days and then I reread it like 5 times. So that was kind of the only thing I ever read like when I was in high school, and then in October I realized like, hey, there's 2 books out that I haven't read yet. So I read the prequels in October and for some reason that just like flicked a switch in my brain and I was like, oh, I really like reading. So I bought more books and I read Alchemized, which I absolutely loved, and that kind of like sent me into like a spiral of like, I need to read everything on the planet. So that's the plan. I don't know if you were here before, you might know, if not, you don't know, but I used to have a dresser here. It was like an antique kind of looking thing and it had like fabric in the drawers and like stuff like that, and I got rid of that and bought these IKEA shelves and I built them, and that is now bookshelf space. There's more books in here and there's like a lot more on the bottom shelves. It looks very empty, which it is, but it won't be for long. But I have most of my books and my heavier books at the bottom, so like the 2 bottom ones that you can't really see are almost full, and they're my heaviest ones because I can't anchor it to the wall because Dad said no. That's that. So today's video is going to be, oh, by the way, I used to have black hair, just in case you care about this. I used to have black hair. This is my natural color, other than like the blonde, like very blonder bits at the ends. This is my natural hair color. I went back to it so that I can grow it long like a mermaid. I'm going to be telling you the 10, okay, well, I even wrote the sentence bad. All the top 10 series I want to read 2026. So these are the 10 series that I really want to read start to finish, like the whole thing this year. And I might not be able to do it, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna start. I did pull a lot of stuff off my shelves so that I can talk about it. Oh yeah, a lot of stuff is not on the shelf because it's next to me. So the first one is it's really hot in my room right now, I'm sweating. The Mistborn trilogy. This is by Brandon Sanderson and I've heard amazing things about it. I really want to read it because I've never read high fantasy before. I've read like romantasy and dystopian. I've never read anything that's like super intricate and a little more, I don't know what the word is, but like fancy? I don't know. It just sounded really interesting. I've heard people talk about the magic system and it sounded really fascinating. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. I think it has something to do with metals. I could be wrong. But this, firstly, is beautiful. And secondly, I saw a TikTok of Mariana, I think, crying reading the 3rd book. And if books make people cry, I want to read them. Because Sunrise on the Reaping and Alchemized both made me cry, and they are the best books I've ever read in my entire life. So if that tells you something about me, I kind of like pain in fiction books. The next one is the Old Kingdom series. Oh, by the way, that was a Christmas present from my parents. The Old Kingdom series was also a Christmas present from my parents. The rest of the series is on the shelf there. There is like 5 books. It's the white ones. This is the first one. It's called Sabriel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. This is very pretty and this is like out, like 3D. It's very cool. I really like these white books. This is also more of like a high fantasy, I think. But I also read some Goodreads reviews saying that it was like very middle school. But I think that people on Goodreads can be very brutal and crazy sometimes. It's a little bit like Fragrantica, but for reading, potentially. This one, I don't want to read too much about it before I go into it, but when I'm not going to say the whole premise or anything. When I was reading the box on the outside of all of them, when I first opened it for Christmas, I saw that it had something to do with necromancy. And I love necromancy. I don't know if that's like a weird thing to love, but I really enjoyed that in Alchemized. I thought that was really like fascinating and fun, cool, interesting. I'm very intrigued. I'm very excited. Apparently my dad tried to tell me to read this 2 months before Christmas, and I was like, yeah, no. And then when I opened it on Christmas and read the actual like blurb or whatever that was on the thing, I was like, wow, this sounds so exciting. And he was like, you told me it wasn't exciting when I told you about it months ago. And I was like, well, you probably described it really boring. And he agreed. So, oh, by the way, that was by Garth Nix. I don't know if I said that. Also, these books have been out forever. I think my dad read the first 3 in like the 90s or something. I'm actually sweating so much. It's really, really gross. The next series that I'm going to read, hopefully, in 2026 is the Lady of Darkness series by Melissa K. Rorick. Rorick? I think it's Rorick. This is book 5, which is the only one I have right now. I know that sounds silly, but the first 4 are actually arriving today because I bought those from Book Grocer and I bought this from Amazon. This was on sale for $7 on Amazon and the Book Grocer ones were on sale for $12 each. So I bought them separately like that because why would I pay more when I can pay less? I'm not rich. So if I was like wealthy, I would buy them, you know, from like a small bookstore or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, I would put in the effort to be a little more ethical with my purchases, but at this point in time, I don't have that luxury. This series I'm really excited to read. I don't know exactly what it's about, to be honest. I don't want to read the back of this one because I don't want to spoil anything for myself. I have heard that apparently the FMC in this book is annoying or frustrating, and I don't mind that. I'm not gonna lie. I don't mind that. I am here for the story, and apparently it's like a kind of a darker fantasy romance series, and that really, that kind of just gets me. I like it. The 4th series that I want to read this year is the Legacy of Gods series by Rena Kent. I have not started this yet. This is the only book I have so far because I'm going to read this one and see if I like it and then see if I continue. I would love to continue, I think. I don't know. I have read the Monster trilogy by Rena Kent and I really love that. I have read that and I read it really quickly and it was like very, I don't even know how to describe it. It was really easy to read and it was exciting and I didn't get bored at all. And I love that. So I thought these might be the same and I've heard really amazing things about them. I'm a little bit scared because, you know, the trigger warnings are abundant. There's a lot of warnings at the start of this, so meh. I don't love like overly spiciness in my books, but I will skim through it. If it's too much, I will just skim over it and get to like the plot. Oh my god, can you hear the washing machine? That's really annoying. Hold on. The only thing that really is a bothersome trigger for me, and I don't even know why because I've never had like medical issues, but for some reason, if there is anything to do with like medical trauma of like sickness or like terminal illness, stuff like that really bothers me, and I don't know why, because like that's never, like it doesn't really run in my family or anything. Like I've never dealt with any of that, but it really scares me. So that makes me really uncomfortable. I don't know if that's like a thing that a lot of, maybe it's I'm like a bit of a hypochondriac maybe. The movie 50/50 really fucked me up. Like I hated that movie so much, not because it wasn't good, but just because it made me feel so uncomfortable. So that's like the only thing I really care about. Other stuff like doesn't really bother me that much. Rena Kent, Legacy of Gods, I really want to read that. The next one is the Natural series. This is by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've heard really good things about this and I've heard no bad things about this. I've heard mixed things about, what was it? The Inheritance Games, the other series that she wrote, I think before this, but I've heard only good stuff about this, and apparently it's like mystery and like they gather these people that have like really specific abilities and then put them together to like work on like cold cases or something. And cold cases get hot. That is really intriguing to me. I really love police procedural drama TV shows. I don't know if that's a hot take or what. I feel like a lot of people like them, but then a lot of people are like, ugh, whatever. I'm like obsessed with NCIS and Grimm and stuff like that. I feel like they're not really the same. I feel like this will give me that hit of crime solving, exciting mystery stuff that I really, really like. That is another one that I really want to read. The next series I want to read is the House of Devils series by Kayla Edwards. This is the first one. I only have the first one at the moment. I will get the other ones from Big W soon when I get paid. This is long. I've heard amazing things about this and people say that the MMC in this is very hot. So that's cool. Yeah, so it's about like a human, and then there's like all these other creatures in this world, and it's very exciting and interesting, and I'm very excited to read it. I don't really want to, common thing with me, I don't really want to know much about something before I go into it because I would rather just figure it out on the way. And I also don't want to be distracted from what I'm currently reading by like thinking about other books. But yeah, so the first one, City of Gods and Monsters, I have, and I am excited to start it. I don't want to start this until I've caught up on, I think it's called the Gods and Monsters series. Why is this called City of Gods and Monsters and it's the House of Devils, and then the Gods and Monsters series is Book of Azrael, whatever. I've read Book of Azrael, but I have the next two and I haven't read them yet, and that's on my TBR, on my for soon. So I want to finish that series before I start this one because I feel like they have similar vibes-ish. The next one I want to read is the Once Upon a Broken Heart series by Stephanie Garber. This is so pretty. Woo! Love. Anyways, I just finished reading the entire Caraval series. And I know a lot of people don't read Caraval before reading Once Upon a Broken Heart because apparently you don't have to. But I wanted to read it because it sounded good to me. And I did absolutely love it. I feel like most of those books are like a 4-star for me. Yeah, I think they're all pretty much a 4-star for me. I do have like a holiday special edition set that's like white and red, and it's really pretty and I love it. I do, however, hate reading hardcover books like in my hands. I don't have a Kindle. I don't listen to stuff on audio because I like to listen to music while I read, but very excited that these are paperback. I really love that series. The only thing was it was a little bit wordy, a little bit too descriptive at some points, where I was like, I feel like we could have done with sentence instead of a paragraph describing how green the room was. I haven't heard people complain about the same things in this series, so maybe there's that. But I have met Jax in that series, so yeah, I'm very excited to read this and see what all the fuss is about because people seem to love it more than Caraval. The one thing that for some reason I forgot to get out was you can't even see it. My auntie Mary bought me the Fourth Wing series, the 3 books that are currently out, Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and Onyx Storm. And thanks, Auntie Mary, if you're watching this, I love you. I'm very excited to read that. I'm gonna read that pretty soon. One of my friends started reading Fourth Wing like last year and didn't finish it, and she was like, I want to read it at the same time, so we're gonna read it at the same time like soon. So I'm really excited to read that. I've heard obviously amazing things. I think I'm like one of the only people on the planet that hasn't read it yet. So yeah, that is really high up on my list of to-dos, and I hope that I don't finish it and then not know what to do with myself because I need to keep reading. But yeah, that I'm really excited about. It's so pretty on my shelf. I'm going over there, I'm already really sweaty. The next series that I want to read is the Boys of Tommen series. I only have the first one because I don't know if I'm gonna like it. This has so many, firstly, pages. It just goes on and on and on. That's like, what, 800? I don't know if I'm gonna like this because I don't know really how I feel about like real world stuff. I read mostly fantasy and that's it. Like I read a little bit of dark romance, a little bit of thriller, but I don't usually read like contemporary romance, and I know that this is not necessarily like romance, it's more like trauma. I don't know why I did the air quotes, it's trauma. Yeah, I'm a little bit intimidated by the things that people say about it, but if it's as good as people say it is, then I do want to read it. So I don't know. We will see. If I read the first one and I love it, obviously I'll continue the series, but if I read the first one and I don't love it, then I probably won't. But that is on my list. And I didn't even put this on my list, did I? No. Okay, well, it's gonna be like 11 or 12 instead of 10 because I left some things off my list. The Darkverse series by Runix. Oh, by the way, that's by Chloe Walsh, if you're one of the only people in the world that doesn't know what it is. No offense. Like, not everyone knows everything. The Darkverse series by Runix, I really want to read. This is a dark romance mafia series, and I've heard amazing things about especially the first 3 books. I do have all of them in my shelf. I'm not about to haul them all out here because they're all like independently published. They're very heavy, which is why they're at the bottom of the shelf. So I'm really, really excited for this. I think that it's going to be really good because I've heard only good things about it. I love a dark romance mafia moment because, well, I know that because I read the Monster trilogy by Rena Kent, and I really loved that. So I'm assuming that this is like kind of in that same vein. And yeah, so I really want to read that. And the next two things that I'm going to talk about, I don't have in my possession. So the next one I want to read is the Hollow Boy series by Monty J. And that, I don't know exactly what it's about, but it's like, I think like a dark romance kind of crime related thing that I've just heard a lot of really good things about. Apparently it's similar to the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas, I want to say. That intrigues me. I feel like that's something that I would like, maybe. So I have written that one down. I did forget to write the Dark Verse down. And then I also wanted to honorable mention Zodiac Academy. I've heard a million mixed things about Zodiac Academy. I have no idea if I'm gonna like it or not. People seem to hate the first book, but if they get past it and they read the whole thing, then they seem to love the entire series really hard. So I don't want to miss out on the vibes. So I want to read it, which is interesting because I feel like there's a lot of like every creature in that book, like, you know, like vampires and yada yada. And a lot of these have like lots of different stuff. And I think I prefer when there's just like one kind of a thing going on. Like it's just a vampire thing, or it's just like a witches or whatever. But I think if the character development is good enough, then I don't really care. Yeah, I guess we'll see about that. Those were all of the top 10, 12 book series that I want to read this year, hopefully in their entirety, if I can. I also have a lot of standalone books that I want to read and like beginnings of like duologies and series and trilogies and whatever. So I guess we'll see like what I actually get around to reading, but that's my hopeful list. If you were here for the fragrance content and you don't care about books, I am so sorry, and I still love you. And you know what, even if you don't want to be here anymore, that's okay. Thank you for being here in the first place. If you do want to see the books and you're new, or you're not new and you still want to see the book stuff, then thank you so much. Welcome. Hi. I hope you enjoy. Nice to see you. See you again next time.
I can't stop thinking about you. I'll be back when you get this, okay? I love you. Bye.